All right, hey guys, welcome back to the Let's. Oh my God,
Let's play
I was going to say it's a Let's Play. Welcome back to the
play
Play
on
On
pocket.
podcast, episode 56 with Jesse and Jerry. The reason I said Let's Play is because remember Ray from Achievement Hunter?
Yeah.
He just did a recently. He recently did a reunion with the old Achievement Hunter crew and like played a video game with them. So like it's stuck in my head. I haven't seen the video, but I remember watching like his tweet about it.
Oh man, that's some good times. I remember watching their Minecraft Let's Play.
Yeah.
Good times.
Honestly, dude, I think there was a point where I think I seen all of their videos. Like legit, I watched like the very first one, everything
Yeah, same.
when they
They
first
were
started the channel, the Let's Play
yeah
channel at least.
yeah they were good. They just produced like good content, and plus like the guys were funny, especially like Ray and Michael.
Yeah,
That was
only the
good stuff.
only couple wholesome people because yeah, the other people there we're not gonna get into it, but insane
Yeah.
things that happened with that company. But yeah, a lot of great things. We're gonna go over a little bit of like the Champions League first leg. Some recap specifically with just La Liga because that's kind of the only exciting league right now. And
Yeah.
first and foremost, like the first thing we're gonna talk about, and I'll let Jesse take the reins on this, is Mbappe got a red card.
Yeah, it was. I'm not even gonna come here and say like it wasn't a red card. Like it was just a stupid brash tackle on his part. Like it was 100% a red. Uh, it was actually fortunately that nothing else happened from it because
That was a
that's a
bad tackle.
yeah that's a like those type of tackles commonly happen. Like the result is like broken legs and like things like that. So luckily that didn't happen. But yeah, it was just a stupid rash tackle on his part. Like there was no reason to do it at that point.
Now, this is my follow-up question, and it's pretty interesting being a Real Madrid, you being a Real Madrid fan. How many suspended games do you think he deserves?
What's I think what the standard's like three or four, right? I think
Hmm.
that's fine. I think that's fair.
There's rumors right now circulating for like Real Madrid accounts saying that he's only suspended for one game. No comment?
Game's a game, Jerry. What can I say?
That's insane. But yeah, the ruling still hasn't come out. I know there's going to be a lot of controversy once it does come out. I'm saying it's going to be a two-game suspension, knowing with being Madrid, and I think they'll be fine with that because the Copa del Rey final is he'll miss it if it's the third, it's if it's a three-game suspension.
Yeah. I think it is probably a two. They're gonna get two. But also I think it's also because La Liga doesn't want Mbappe to miss that final just for like ratings and things like that. But yeah, I think the standard three or because I think it is standard th three match suspension, right? I think
Yeah,
that should have been.
yeah, and it's crazy too because even the referee, what is it called, ACTA, the report came out, and it said that he was in dispute of the ball. He was
Well,
in no dispute of the ball.
Jerry, I won't comment on refs anymore. We both know how atrocious they've been throughout the year in every league. It feels like we've had a ref incident report every week, and I'm tired of them.
Oh yeah, especially this week, Sotogrado was horrible because not only the Mbappe red card, the Alaves player red card. He was in front of both of them. He had a clear view for both of them, and he had like no guts to bring out the red card immediately, and he had to get corrected by VAR, which is crazy too, specifically because Sotogrado, this ref that Real Madrid had for their game, he got placed in because he wasn't the original ref. That he wasn't going to be the original ref. But they put him in to test him to see if he's qualified to get the Clásico. And clearly, with all this whole incident this week, he kind of lost the Clásico for himself.
Well, it's been a common occurrence this year in La Liga that they've been trying to bring up like a new gen of refs because like it's like the older ones have kind of retired or like decided that they don't want to anymore,
Hmm.
and so they've been bringing in like new refs or like trying to promote like from within, like the other ones that weren't getting like many big games are now getting them,
Hmm.
and we've seen a drop off of quality because even like we've seen them promoting a couple of like uh refs from like the second division and things like that, trying to see if they're qualified to ref like in the first division, and a lot of them have come out like looking scared to make any calls and just hoping that VAR fixes everything for them.
Yeah, I will say this that the ref that Barcelona got for their match against Leganés this Saturday, he was pretty good. He was giving fair calls, letting one specific thing, he's letting the ball, well, just the game keep playing on, pun intended. But yeah, it's a tough job, but you gotta vet these guys and you gotta hold them accountable at this point because yeah, there's been some horrible, questionable calls, specifically Sotogrado, the guy Real Madrid just got. I don't know how you let that get past you.
Yeah,
Two red cards. He just let it go by.
I think the problem with like this new referees are coming up is that because they've like come up with VAR, they're afraid to make any decision and just like defer to it.
Hmm.
And it's kind of bad to see because before to be a ref you had to be confident in your calls and like make decisions. Now the refs don't even have to do that, so now they don't it's like they don't even know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, and that kind of plays a role too, because it say they do make a call, say he did give the red card, but in reality, maybe it wasn't a red card. Like if they go back and bar, then he's gonna have to like switch his call, revert the call. Then that kind of maybe kills his confidence and be like, whoa, should I actually be calling this a red card? So it's a lot of play. It's not easy. I'll say that. It's never
Mm.
easy. So, but yeah, Mbappe gets his what is it? I think it's his third or fourth red card in his career.
Yeah, he's been commented with like outbursts like this and have has gotten like a couple of red cards.
And this was a stupid challenge because I was watching it with my brother. We saw it again, like we were watching the highlights again,
Hmm.
and it made no sense. I think one of the commentators said that he was probably lashing out from a previous foul he didn't get or something like that. But even then, like, dude, you kind of threw your team away. Like, it could have been horrible, especially when you're fighting for a La Liga title.
Yeah, it like I said, it made no sense because it wasn't even like it was a dangerous opportunity for Alaves.
Hmm.
Like they were in midfield, there was no point. Like even if he got possession at that point, it wasn't for sure like gonna lead to a good offense. It was just it was just dumb.
Yeah, it was intentional. He looked to hurt the player. I didn't think he's gonna hurt him that bad. I thought he was probably just gonna hit him, but he just miscalculated and kind of almost broke the guy's leg.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he should definitely be held accountable because we've seen, I keep bringing it up, Lewandowski got a 3 match suspension for touching his nose. Re Most recently, it was kind of a similar challenge. Was it Angel Correa did the same thing?
Hmm.
He had like he had studs up on the shin. He got a 5 match suspension. So, and the whole world is watching to see what the ruling is, to be honest.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be a 2 match suspension, knowing it being Real Madrid. There's a final, first El Clásico final in like 11 years in the Copa del Rey. So
Yeah, and plus it's also setting up to be a situation where there's like because I know there's still another La Liga final coming up. So I know they're trying to set up for to have as many Clásicos because I remember back in like peak Clásico, where there's a lot of animosity, Jose Mourinho Pep era. There was like 7 Clásicos in like 2 weeks time, and it was just like crazy, and each one lived up to the hype.
yeah, I remember that. It was like, oh, Copa del Rey Clásico. Oh wait, League Clásico. Copa del Rey Clásico again. Then I forgot. I think it was like probably a Super
Champions League,
Copa,
Champions
Champions
Leagues.
League semifinal. But
It
no,
was
the Super Copas were played at the beginning of the year back then.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they
because
were.
it was only one game.
Hmm. Bring back those times.
Yeah,
So yeah, furthermore, like Real Madrid, they both Real Madrid and Barcelona both narrowly got the win. It was 1-0 for each team. Barca was kind of begging for the time to be up, and thankfully it was. And Real Madrid, they were just in a weird situation. They weren't playing good, and
yeah.
it's kind of the story of the season.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of it comes to fatigue for some of the players. Like some obviously just look like they're just tired and need a rest. Like Federico Valverde, like I've said before, we've known him to have an incredible engine running back and forth, always being there to be an outlet for his teammates. But now we don't see that anymore from him. Like he looks like he's constantly conserving energy to be able to be like, oh, I just need to be able to get through this game. And it's similar for like other players like Rudiger, who was looking like the best center back in the world like a year ago. Now it just looks like he's trying to, get through a game and not playing up to the level that we've seen from him.
Yeah, and it's funny because Valverde legit played another 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll get into it now. So we're gonna talk about how like the first leg went for the Champions League. But yeah, we'll go in order. The first one is Barcelona versus Dortmund. Barcelona come out here and did exactly what we said they needed to do, which was get a 3-0 win or a 4-0 win, to just maintain that lead going into Germany.
Yeah, they got the result that they needed to get 4-0 against Dortmund, and now going into, the yellow wall, it's not as intimidating anymore because they could, let a goal or two go in, but we know the offense they have, so they could, always pull a goal back. And knowing that Dortmund has to go on the offensive when they've been a bad team this year, it's, easy recipe for them.
Specifically too, because well, specifically, two more so because they just played another intense match over the weekend, which was their Clasicer. Ended up 2-2. It was tied at the half, and then in the second half there was four goals. It was a great match, by the way. Yeah, they had to go all out, and because they can't slip up, I think they're like a couple points out from like Champions League spots, so they can't really rest too much. They're like in eighth or ninth place.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably 6 points or 5 points behind now, because of the tie. But yeah, they had an intense match after an intense match, and now they have to go into their own home stadium. And I want to see what their outlook is, especially Niko Kovac, to see if he's gonna try to fight out the match super offensively. I don't think he's kind of an offensive like a super offensive minded guy who's just gonna let the defense go. Um, we'll see how it comes out, but I'm fully confident Barca's gonna go through the next round. The win the match, I don't know. I think they probably tie like 2-2 or 1-1.
Yeah, I'm a similar thought because I don't see Barca not going through because Dortmund have improved that they've been sound defensively enough to like stop Barca from scoring, and we haven't seen any crazy offensive outbursts from them to show that they're gonna, score 4 or 5 goals to be able to go through the next round.
Hmm.
Like none of the players you look at that squad give you the sense of like, oh, he has a potential to turn this around. Like Jamie Kiddens looks like he has potential, but not currently at the level to, carry the team. And even then, he's been coming in and out of the squad. Julian Brand's a solid player, but that's it. Like the Storming squad is uninspiring.
Yeah, it is. One thing is Barcelona's gonna have to play without Alejandro Balde. He's out for about 3 weeks. Um, so I do see him probably stacking up that left side, especially with a shaky left back, which is Martin. But he has come proven in some matches he has the level to play at Barca, but he does lack that confidence sometimes and can be detrimental. But I think the Flick is gonna come out with a good plan and try to stack that left side and just play super counter. Like
Yeah.
I don't think Barca's gonna have is gonna go too much on the offensive, and again I don't think they're gonna go too much on the defensive. They're gonna just remain ba as balanced as possible. Try to maintain possession in the Dortmund's half because we have seen Dortmund like I think last match Dortmund couldn't even touch the ball at one point. It was like 10 minute spans of Barcelona just constantly holding onto the ball.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem currently with Dortmund is they lack a leader on that field. Like last year with Homos being that leader, they're sort of a organization in the team, and now the team sort of lacks it.
Mhm.
So I think that's going to be the biggest struggle because if you can't handle Barca's intense pressure, like they might concede another 3 or 4 goals.
And also the implications of like Dortmund not making it through the Champions League next year. It's pretty it's gonna be devastating for them because they might have to be forced to make sales because Gittins is already rumored to come out because again he wants to leave because of lack of playing time, and then also like there's Schlotterbeck who they could financially benefit from him because I know Real Madrid wants him. And I'm pretty sure a lot of European clubs would want him because he's a great center back. So they're at risk of losing a lot of great talents, especially if they don't make the Champions League next year.
Yeah, I think this summer's actually can be very critical for them in planning for the next year, for like future squads because there's usually like a big time young prospect that they have coming up, and like they also have like the next one set up. But currently they don't have any.
Mm-mm.
Like Gio Reyna was supposed to be the next one for them. He's flopped and he's being allowed to leave in the summer. Jamie Kittens could potentially leave already. And after you look at the rest of the squad, you're like, I really don't see it. So like maybe they try to do it with like Holland and just try to find another one from another league, another young player and take him in.
Yeah.
But even then you gotta hope that the coaching staff develops them because as we've seen, they've been rotating through coaching staffs a lot. So
Yeah.
there's not that same confidence in like them developing talent anymore.
Yeah, a lot of question marks for this Dortmund side. But who do you got going through, Jesse?
I think I said it, Jerry, and I won't say it again because that hurts.
Yeah, I got Barca too. Our next match is PSG versus Aston Villa. This one's straightforward. One team is clearly they've won their title, league title. The other team is still fighting for positions. Uh, but it was a good first leg.
Yeah, it was.
Aston Villa came out on top first.
Yeah, it was surprising because I didn't expect Aston Villa to put up as much as a fight as they did. I thought PSG was completely gonna overrun them, especially just because they have so many better players. But Aston Villa put up a good fight.
Yeah, they did. But then I was I think we were talking about it last week. I didn't expect Due to really come out as the starter, but Luis Enrique took the chance and made him a starter because I thought it was gonna be played similar or even the lineup was gonna be the exact same thing like the Liverpool game, which it was Kvaratskhelia, Barcola, and Dembele. But no, he took out Barcola and put Due
Do
on
it.
that spot, and he scored a banger.
Yeah, Dua's showing to be an incredible talent. He's been looking really good this year. He's sort of taking the shine away from Barcola and saying that he might be like the next big French talent.
Hmm.
Uh, he looks really good, and hopefully he keeps building it up because in football, all it takes is like a couple of weeks, and people just discard you right away and look for the next big thing. So you just got to be consistent with it.
Yeah. And what Aston Villa did do a good job with was stop Dembele from scoring goals, but he did get an assist. But yeah, I think Villa is just has one hand tied behind their back because this PSG squad is just incredible. Um, Speaking of like PSG, there's rumors we were talking about it yesterday how Barcola might be set to leave because he got a new agent. They've been trying to extend his contract, but there's been like stalls in it. And then you brought something up too about a midfielder.
Yeah, there's potentially talks of Joao Neves potentially might be available
Hmm.
because Zaire Emery has, fallen off the pecking order this year, but because PSG want to, how you say it, like accommodate their French fans, they're not willing to give up on him. And since he's so like projected to be the next big thing for the French national team and like the French football for the next couple of years, they're choosing to give him a shot at the midfield because he's basically been outshined and like his spot's been taken by Joao Neves. And if Joao Neves stays there, I don't think he's gonna get those chances.
Mm. So just a lot of things with PSG. I don't blame them though. Like I kind of like the idea that they're keeping that French player because they're trying to keep that French connection, being a French club, and again, capital of France. Um,
Yeah.
but it's pretty awesome. It'll be a huge loss. I told you, I think if they force the Neves, what is it, transfer to another club, I told you I think Luis Enrique leaves the club because he doesn't have control of that.
Yeah, and I wouldn't blame him because Joel Neves is such a talent and he brings so much to the team and being forced to play politics, I think is one of the worst things that a coach has to deal with. And a lot of them truly don't want to deal with that at all.
Yeah, I wonder if we could ever make it work with like playing a three at the back and like a four midfield, like what is it, four midfielder? Like, oh, you can even play five midfielders, but that'll be interesting. I don't know. We gotta see and wait till the end of the season, see what happens. Are they in the Club World Cup? What I could think of, like they made it to a final, made it to semifinals a couple times. Uh,
I can't believe we forgot already.
it's just
Yes,
so
they
many
are.
clubs. Okay.
Yes, they are.
So they'll have that early window and see what they let's see what they do. But whoever gets ends up with Joao Neves, if he does leave, it's a steal.
Hey, listen, I said I'll take him gladly because I think he's one of, if not the best young midfielder in the world right now.
And probably goes to Man City, Jesse.
No, Jerry, don't say that. Don't say that.
Man City somehow ends up with every fucking player. Because think about it, they have Ruben Diaz and what's his name? Bernardo Silva. But I think Bernardo Silva might be out the window. But who knows?
But Ruben Diaz has fallen off a lot.
I don't blame you, but they'll probably try to convince him.
Yeah, but he'll be closer to home if he comes to Madrid. We're
Maybe,
just right there.
maybe. But yeah, who do you got going through?
I think it's pretty obvious PSG. I still think they have an abundance of talent and probably the most talented team in this tournament.
Yeah, I'm with you. Um, yeah, what's our next match?
Inter Bayern on Wednesday.
Ooh, that was a kind of a crazy match. Um, again, I was focused on the Barcelona one, but I did rewatch the highlights for the Bayern Inter match. And what I'll tell you, dude, exactly what happened. Lautaro dropped down to midfield, build up play out to the wing. They used Thuram as a post, one touch
S-
back heel, and just
The
what a
finish,
finish.
oh, that team was just what you love to see from football. That was truly beautiful football. Like Thuram's back heel, then the finish, like
I gotta look it up.
it was just great. And the crazy thing is, Inter did this without their two starting like wing backs because Dumfries is out and Di Marco did not start.
Yeah.
So
Um,
it's just crazy.
it's incredible. And it also speaks to the lack of uh well, I wouldn't say talent, but like the lack of coaching that Bayern has, because um I'm surprised how much Bayern actually created for this match. They had a bunch of shots. Harry Kane actually missed I wouldn't say a sitter, but he missed a one-on-one with the keeper and you would think he would put it away, but
I would say Sitter, he's not that good.
yeah, especially like yeah, you could I think you can say sitter. Specifically with like how high up he is and how good of a player he was. Yeah, he kind of joked that that would have been a different game because at that point they would have put Bayern up 1-0 and they would have forced Inter Milan to go forward. And at that point, like if you're forcing Inter Milan to go forward, it's chalk. He kind of won the match against them.
Yeah.
But
But I gotta say, I gotta give a shout out to Limer because he was, even though, he's traditionally was a midfielder and now he's playing right back, and he was trying his best out there, even though the odds were stacked against him.
mhm.
And also Olise, I felt like he was the only creative force on that Bayern team that was, trying to take reins since like Musiala was not there. He was like, I gotta step up, and he was trying. He was there. He did create a lot of chances because I think Bayern finished with like 20 shots and like how many on target?
I don't know, but it was a lot, dude. Again, I didn't think they were gonna create this much. But yeah, like tracking back and taking note of him. Look, they're legit just keeping up with him right there. And he has all this space, and it's so smart of Duramo what he did.
Well, they played with Rafael Guerrero like in midfield and then Kimmich and Goretzka. And Goretzka has been like he was once like a shining German prospect that everyone thought was gonna be like become world class, and he sort of failed to live up to that potential. And he's been okay, but never been to like the level that people expected. And I feel like again, like the midfield, you looked at it and you're like, it looks okay, but it's not anything like magical.
And it makes you think, because a lot of it, people are saying, well, from the Bayern fans, they're saying they're missing Pavlovic. Pavlovic just came back from injury this match against, I don't know if he played in the Bayern match, but he came back against the Dortmund match and looked pretty well. Um, I wonder if Pavlovic would have made the difference and I would actually picked up Lautaro Martinez from that midfielder. Because again, Lautaro wasn't sprinting or hauling ass to go to the end line and try to get to the end of that cross. He played it so smart and just waited right there and waited and saw the space was right there.
But it's crazy that he's become such an integral part of the team so far when he's like such a young player. Usually you would expect Bayern to have a couple of those players available to them, but it seems it's just all falling on his shoulders now.
And if you think about it, they kind of missed on a lot of the midfielders they do buy, like specifically like defensive midfielders. You would say like Javi Martinez, he had like a couple like two good seasons because I remember once he was like a focal point. But then did they have Emery Chan? No, that was Liverpool. I'm thinking Liverpool.
No, Emre Can came. He was with Bayern for a bit, but then he like moved around.
Yeah, he didn't make it. Then who was Goretzka? One or two good seasons, but nothing consistent. Kimmich, again, two good seasons, but yeah, you do see sometimes he gets lost, specifically because he's been playing a lot of the right back spot.
Yeah, I felt like he was better as a right back, similar to like a mold of Philip Lahm.
Hmm.
But I just in midfield, I feel like not as good, or like the potential's not as high as he would as a right back. But he like wants to be in that midfield spot. So what can you do?
But yeah, and a huge shout out to Inter because right after Bayern, was it Thomas Mueller scored again? He's leaving at the end of the season, by the way. He couldn't re-sign a new contract with Bayern Munich. He was butting heads with the executives. Um, Bayern scored.
Yeah, but yeah, but also why didn't Paulinho play? Like he was their big summer signing. He was supposed to fix their center defensive midfield woes. And he didn't even play. He was on the bench.
Yeah, and it's a huge question for like Vincent Company. And I wish they would have asked them in the press conference, but they didn't. Um, but I don't know. But yeah, Bayern scored, and you thought the match was gonna end 1-1. But then out of nowhere, Inter Milan legit makes a play out of nothing.
Yeah.
They I'll try to find it real quick. They legit made a play out of nothing. I don't know how the hell it even happened and how Bayern Munich would even allow that to happen. Because there was like I think 3 or 4 minutes after they scored. And it was, I think, what is it, wingback play?
Yeah, I think so.
Here, let me get it without the ads. See, look, it's right here. All right, I've got it. Bear with me. Share. Hopefully, we don't get copyright tricks. See, look at the midfield line for Bayern Munich. It's nowhere to be found. Look, Lautaro has so much time to even take this touch, and he could go back if he wants. And he gets a see, he takes the touch, and no one is tracking back. They let the wing back go all the way forward. Oh my God, I went too far back. See, look, he passes the ball and just runs away. It's just
Yeah.
lack of discipline for Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I think that's just bad coaching right there that's led them to that because the midfield's completely wide open and the whole defensive line looks like they're on an island by themselves going up against like more attackers.
Yeah, like why are you giving up so much space right there? And why are they playing so many one-on-ones right there? Because it makes no sense because you just gave Inter exactly what they want, which was for Lautaro Martinez to receive the ball in turn. And he does that and punishes them. Because yeah, it was so dumb. Kind of
Yeah.
pissed me off that this guy has a job because of that. Because like at that point you would take a 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
You would take it. If something comes up, something comes up. But at that point, you would take the draw and not play so fucking compromised because your line was way too high. But yeah, we're beating a dead horse. Who do you have going through? It's still a tight one. It's 2-1.
I'd still give it an Inter. They showed everything that made me think why they were going through. Like they're the more experienced side, they're the veteran side. The wing backs were completely having the time with it. Lautaro and Thuram are a great duo. You know, it's hard to see like playing t teams playing with like two strikers up top now, a two top formation, and them working off each other. But they work so well at it, obviously. And plus now they're gonna be at home, like playing at the San Siro. It is tough.
Yeah, I'm right with you. I easily have Inter Milan going through. I think it's gonna be like a 3-0. Bayern's not gonna have an answer, and they have struggled playing away. Mine's being the biggest example. And on top of that, you would think they would have like a huge boost in confidence because they thought they were gonna thrash Dortmund. That wasn't the case. They just played an exhausting match, and Inter made some rotations. So yeah, give me Bayern, give me Inter Milan, my bad.
I was about to say, I was like, Bayern,
Oh,
what?
that's like just like I could say Bayern Munich to go through.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Jesse's favorite match.
Yeah, we could yeah, I think we have what's next, Jerry? Predictions, right?
It's Arsenal versus Real Madrid. Jesse, what happened?
It was my nightmare. I sent you a message about the lineup as soon as I saw it. It was hell. It was Ancelotti failing to rotate because it showed bad tactics on his part. But also I gotta give a hand to Declan Rice. Those two free kicks they're great.
Yeah, when he took the first one, I'm like, why they're doing all this stupid setup for nothing? He's just gonna miss it. He scores it. It bends like crazy. Um, and people are saying that it's a lack. It was a Courtois' fault for not putting 5 men on the wall, and he just did four. But no, I think that even then that was gonna bend like crazy. Because I think Valverde he tried to go outside and try to hit deflect it, right?
Yeah.
It just still wasn't enough. Then I saw the second free kick. I'm like, oh, it's like similar. It's at a similar spot. There's like, there's no way he scores a double from a free kick, right?
Yeah.
Top bins, bro. Oh my God, bro. Those free kicks were incredible.
Yeah, it was just his day. Like you just it was like one of those where like I just gotta tip my hat. There's like nothing to do there.
Yeah.
And then
Uh
the third one I'd say was just more of lapse of judgment and defense.
yeah, and it's a brilliant finish from the guy you've been hating on as a striker. Yeah, that was funny. And when I saw him score, I'm like, I know Jesse's gonna be pissed.
Oh, Jerry, I was crashing out.
Because
I
yeah, the
crashed
free
out for
kicks
a
you
week.
can't do anything with. That one is like this guy's not even a striker and he's finishing like that.
Yeah. And then but besides that, I'd say yeah, the tactics wise it was so dumb because before we've played where we would defend and go for counterattacks. But this time it just seemed like we were just trying to hold on to a 0-0,
Hmm.
which I feel like I hate playing that type of football, and I feel like it never works out when you try to go for that because you're just inviting too much pressure and not doing anything. And plus, both Vinny and Mbappe disappeared completely throughout the game. Same
I
with Rodrigo.
I blame I put the whole loss on Ancelotti, a little bit on Vinicius because he had a horrible match. But his tactics is like they try to I don't know if you do you remember the Man City game, but they try to do the same thing because they've always done like the same thing they always do against City, which was play back as like hold a deep line, you recover the ball, just shoot it up there to the left back.
Yeah.
I mean, not to the left back. Well, yeah, it's where the
The
right back is, or whichever side of the wings, just so they could have a one-on-one. But it didn't work this time because A, they were overshooting it, and B, like Arsenal was prepared for that.
yeah, it was dumb because after the first half, you would expect some tactical changes, but this man didn't do anything.
He doubled down.
And then his substitutions were idiotic because then he brings in both left back and right back, and they're just like, oh, that's obviously going to solve all our offensive woes and our defensive woes. Bringing these guys in, like bringing Lucas Vasquez in, so a tired Valverde who looked dead could move into midfield was going to solve everything. And then he brought in Fran Garcia for Alaba, which he should have just started Fran Garcia to begin with. And then he brought in Brahim Diaz, the typical substitution, like in the 80th minute. Like, what was the point? And also, if you're gonna sub people out, why didn't you also just bring in Guler and Endrick to see if they provide any spark? Especially Endrick, because he would actually run forward and provide some pressure, or like at least shoot the ball towards the goal and try to get something out of it.
Yeah. And if he were sticking with like his tactics of like deep block, throw the ball up there for Vinicius or Rodrigo or Mbappe to grab, bring in Guler and he could do this exactly what you want and probably even provide a better ball because at that point, who was it throwing the balls the majority of the time? I think
Uh,
I can't remember who, but it
I
was,
know Bellingham had one that was good, the one-on-one for Mbappe, and then the rest were just like anyone that had a chance were just throwing it up there.
and I think it would have been a perfect because Arsenal, I think they were super left-sided. They were super heavy-sided. So if they put a Guler on that right side, take out Rodrigo, He's gonna get the ball and he's gonna have a chance to put it up there. But hey, man, those tactics were from like 1990. They don't work anymore. They work for City for some reason, but Arsenal came prepared and Arteta just watched the film, played deep block. Yeah. And yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in Real Madrid coming back because we have seen Arteta play atrocious ball before, Jesse. There's other words for it, but yeah, it's atrocious.
Yeah, you know what I'm thinking about it. What word I'm thinking about to describe that man right now.
Oh, I
But you
know.
know, it's okay, Jerry, because you know what? We're playing at the Santiago Bernabéu. We know miracles happen there all the time for us, and it's gonna happen again. It's gonna happen again. You know,
I don't know.
it's gonna
They're gonna
happen.
expose themselves way too much up front, and on top of that, they played a light Liga game, which wasn't easy because they were again 10 men down, so they had to run a little bit extra harder.
Yeah,
So the betting odds are so insane, Jesse. They have Real Madrid favored.
because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
I'll be
And
surprised if it does. We have seen comebacks happen from 3-0 down.
yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna go until the last minute. We're gonna tie it, and just because it's us, we're gonna go to extra time just to make us even more tied for the rest of the season.
But that's the thing. I don't think Arsenal is gonna get a goal. Arsenal is gonna get a goal. Real Madrid's
Yeah,
defense has been
yeah,
bad.
it's gonna be 4-1, Jerry, by the end of it, and then we're gonna go to extra time, and then we're gonna play the full 120 minutes, and then we're gonna win again on penalties, and then we're gonna be so exhausted.
I wouldn't mind extra times because yeah, you guys have a La Liga to fucking play for in the weekend.
Yeah, and watch Ancelotti.
He's
He's
not
not
gonna
gonna.
rotate.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not rotating.
And then the subs are gonna come in the last minute, like always.
So I wouldn't mind it. It'll be a win in my book. And sure they make it through the semifinal, but if they play extra times, again, I'm telling you, I would love it. Because would that be like the second extra time this season or third?
It'll be a couple, and you know what? I'll take it as long as Arsenal don't win. Because oh,
Yeah.
uh,
But yeah, predictions. You got kind of already said it 4-1. And
yeah.
I got Arsenal winning. I got Arsenal going through, but I think they tie the game or Arsenal wins 2-1. Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Now it's time for our pick'ems. Honestly, I didn't keep score last time. I do have it written down. I just don't want to count it right now. Um, do you have the number on who won?
Last week's?
Yeah,
No.
I could we'll go over it right now. Arsenal won, Inter won, Barcelona won, PSG won, Lyon tied, Frankfurt tied, Barcelona won, Bayern Munich tied, Alaves lost. Bologna versus Inter, right? Who won that match?
Let me check.
Oh, can't remember. Um,
Uh,
I
what
got
was
the
it? Was it
it was Sunday.
Sunday?
Might be Saturday.
Let me check Saturday. Load Bologna? I don't see it.
No,
Or is it today?
no, I it was yesterday. Yeah, they tied 1-1 against Napoli.
Am I blind? Oh, there. Yeah.
You got that one surprisingly.
What do you mean, surprisingly, dude?
It's very surprisingly, bro. You got Lyon, you got Frankfurt, you had a draw. So, oh, you got that one. Roma Lazio tied. Newcastle beat Man U. Atletico Madrid.
They
Was
won
it
4-2.
was
Tras
that today?
Valladolid.
4-2. I'm surprised they allowed that many goals. Then Bournemouth beat Fulham. You got six. I had seven. So I had six. You had six, I had seven. It's all right, week. I think I was like out of 13, 14 matches. Not too bad. All right. Let me go ahead and share my screen so we can start Going over the pick'ems. I keep going to the wrong one. Keep going to Discord. Okay, cool. And we kind of already picked for these. We both had PSG. We both had Barca going through. Then we both had Inter.
Inter. Yep,
Jesse has Real Madrid. I have
of course.
Arsenal.
Yep, of course.
And
Who's
we're
if no one supports your team when they're down, they're not a real fan.
That's true. You can't switch up. And our next match is going to be Athletic Bilbao versus Rangers. Did we bet on
Yes.
this one? Yeah.
Yes.
They
I
both
put
tied.
we both picked Bilbao.
Next match, Frankfurt versus Tottenham.
I went with Spurs. You went with Frankfurt.
Give me Frankfurt. That was a very tight match. I didn't expect it to be that tight. Then Man U versus Lyon.
Oh, we both went with Leon.
I'm conflicted, Jesse.
Oh, you want to switch up?
No, I'm taking with Lyon.
I was
But
about
yeah,
to
man,
say.
you played a pretty good match. Can't lie.
Y- Yeah, then we saw what happened this weekend.
Yeah, Onana was talking shit with Matic, and then Onana just, yeah, Onana happened.
Yeah.
Are we going anything Friday? No, right?
Uh, no.
Premier League, I know we had a couple.
We had Newcastle versus who are they
Aston
playing?
Villa.
Yeah, there we go. I
Give
went
me
with
Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Yeah, we
Yeah, I
both.
think yeah.
Next match is Barcelona versus Celta Vigo. I got
I,
Barca.
I went with the draw.
Las Palmas versus Atletico Madrid.
Another draw.
I got Las Palmas
Next was Fulham.
on Sunday.
Yes.
Fulham Chelsea. Chelsea tied with Ipswich, right? Or did they win?
They tied 2-2, I think.
Yeah, that's the last scoreline I saw between both of them. Yeah, they did tie, which is insane, and they played at home. So yeah, I got Fulham.
Yeah, I think we both went Fulham.
Then
Then we
it's
have Sociedad.
Sociedad versus Villarreal, and I have Villarreal.
I have Sociedad.
They're gonna win in El Madrigal. Lastly, Real Madrid versus Athletic Club de Bilbao.
Yeah, I picked Madrid.
Give me Bilbao.
Then we have
That'd
Inter
be a tough
versus.
match if like your prediction does come through if it's like a 4-4 and they go to extra times.
Oh, I know, Jerry. But it's gonna happen. Watch.
But it's not that tough because we're also playing Thursday, so you
We're
gotta
both
hope for
gonna be
them.
tired. We're both gonna be tired.
Then we have Bologna versus Inter Milan.
Yes.
I have Bologna.
I went with Inter, dude.
Then we have Milan versus Atalanta.
Did we? Yes, we did. I have a draw.
I have Milan.
And then the Borussia Derby,
Mhm. I have Gladbach.
we both have Gladbach.
And the odds for this match is insane. I think they have it at 6.25, but on DraftKings is like plus 500.
Yeah, I think that's why we both picked it.
But they do have a lot of injuries, but it's kind of been going on for a minute. But yeah, Gladbach right now is no joke, especially it'll be a good match for Gladbach or even betting this match because Dortmund is playing again the Champions League quarterfinals.
Yep.
And I think Gladbach is in seventh, so they're right above it. So they're again also battling for those European spots. So good match to bet on. I'll tell you that right now. Do we have anything for Monday?
Yes. Betis Girona.
First.
And
Yes,
then
Betis y Girona. Who do you have?
I have Betis.
I have Girona.
Yep. And then we have right above it Spurs versus Nottingham Forest.
Give me the Forest.
Yeah, we both went Forest because ain't no way we're picking Spurs after this year.
Yeah. Like, oh my God, bro. All that hype we fucking build up for the matches for them.
They made us look like fools, Jerry.
Is this probably the worst season in like a while?
Uh, we can check. I would assume so because they're like,
Like, yeah, when's the last time? Well, they didn't play Champions League last year. see, Tottenham
Uh,
history. Would it be under
Premier
history?
League.
I'll
Yeah,
be.
Premier League. No, history. Go ahead. Premier League
What do you mean go to Oh, on the bottom?
on the
Yeah.
right. On the
No, I mean
right.
we could go right here. We could just change it by season.
Yeah,
See, last season they finished in fifth. The year before that, they were in eighth, fourth, seventh. Jesus, they've been sixth, and then this is where they made the final, third.
that's when they finished second. When they
Hmm.
almost won it.
Came close. Now this is where they almost won it, dude.
Oh
They could
yeah.
have won it, but no one wanted to win the Premier League too. And then Arsenal just made an insane push that season. But where are we at right now? Oh yeah, we could check. We could have just checked right here. Tweak in the historical position.
I think you could go up. Oh, it just shows the
The winning
management
percentage for yeah.
for each season.
They should have kept Mason, but that
I
was the
think he's
interim.
I think he's coaching currently in the championship right now.
Then he came back too. Look,
Yeah.
Conte is not looking too bad, right? Yeah, this is Poch's horrible season. 11 wins, 4 draws, and 17 losses. God damn. And this is just a huge drop off from consistently placing like fifth to going to 15.
Yeah.
The Europa League is trying to bail him out.
Well, that's the only way. That's what he needs to do to get funds because he needs to get those European spots, and the only way to get that currently is through winning the Europa League.
Yeah, because if they don't make it, well, there's Premier League money, so they have a huge influx in cash at the beginning of the season, so they could probably keep their players. But again, Guti Romero's already rumored to leave. I wonder who else is going to be rumored to leave.
I know a lot of teams are sniffing around Bergvall because he's been like a really good player for them throughout the season. He's just consistent,
Hmm.
and Kulusevski's also had a good season.
Yeah. Son, I don't think no one's going to touch him. It's too.
I
He
think
just
he,
got a contract extension too.
yeah, I think if anyone that might be their side backs with like Pedro Porro, since there's really no right backs in the market.
Hmm.
And also like with Udogi, like, you know,
I think
projected to be
Udoka
good.
is a huge question mark because he's been dealing with a lot of injury problems for like a couple seasons. But
Yeah.
and then Van de Ven, we'll see if they could keep him because he's an incredible center back when he does play.
Yeah. And then even Vicario, because he's been solid.
Man, you need
Plus,
to keep her.
yeah, plus also they did sign the young kid and he looked like he was okay like
Hmm.
some games, so
Yeah, they'll
big
be
enough
off.
offer comes, he might
Especially,
leave.
what is it? Probably like uh, Juve could probably be in the market for a goalie. Like any Italian club will probably want him. But all right, any other closing thoughts? Are we gonna do a watch party for the draft, NFL draft?
Uh, we can.
Yeah, we could get you, me, Charlie. We could ask Shala if he wants to be involved, Irving and SB. Chetas if he wants to, but make it a whole thing.
Yeah, we can, and then we'll share our live thoughts, and then
Just
hopefully not see me despairing if we, don't pick the right people.
oh, we don't know until they play, Jesse. We don't know until they play.
I know, Jerry. I know.
One thing I'm glad is this weekend I was Inter Miami versus Chicago Fire. I didn't go to the game, and I'm glad it was a 0-0 tie because Greg Berhalter loves to play defensive.
They say he's the American version of Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. Because I was telling Jesse, Chicago Fire before the Inter Miami match, they scored 10 goals in the past 5 games. Inter Miami comes, they're like, yeah, we're not playing offensive football at all. We're defending for our lives. And Caleb Williams was there, so it was pretty cool.
Oh, my QB, the best QB in the league.
Telling you, dude, I'm painting my nails if he wins the Super Bowl.
I'm
I'm
getting
being that ass.
I'm getting CW on my chest.
Oh, okay.
Just putting paint. I'm
I'm
not
getting
fucking getting tattooed.
the Bears logo on my fingernails.
I'll join you. I'll join you.
Hey, right on. But yeah, thank you guys for watching so much. Like and subscribe. The viewer count's low, but we are gonna start uploading TikToks now that I think that's getting extended. I think TikTok's here for to stay.
Yep.
Just so we could shit talk everyone, especially that one Man U fan that brought up that tragedy for no fucking reason in an argument. Like, what? I forgot
Yeah.
his name.
I think it was like Man U fan or something.
That was so stupid. Yeah, it was a Man U fan. It's like you weren't there for the tragedy. I was like, bro, we're talking about football. Like, where the fuck did you bring up your stupid? Why would you bring this up in an argument? It makes no sense.
Jerry, the only person that would bring that up would be an older person because that happened, I want to say in the 70s or 80s. So if he remembers that, he's old. So he probably shouldn't even be on the internet at this point either.
Yeah, I probably should have trolled him even more, but I think I did. But he stopped commenting. But yeah, it is what it is. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.
Peace.